Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Kagam and welcome to a new dragging video. I am on fire right now with the dragging videos. I cannot be stopped. Let's go. Here's a Van Cleef& Arpels New York flagship boutique in New York in America. I was helped by SA, we'll call the person G. If you get him, ask for someone else. This man is really the typical sleazy salesman that's baffled that a person would walk into the boutique just to browse. I was there to purchase an item, but my friend simply wanted to browse. He said with a smirk, "But you must be here for a reason." Yeah, just to browse. Overall, he's very condescending. I hated purchasing the item since he gets a commission. Thankfully, I don't live near the area, so I won't be back. I mean, yeah, it's a bit snarky, particularly because the person is like accompanying a friend who is buying. I think the SA's SA's response seems a little bit unfair to me to be like, But yeah, I wouldn't go to the Van Cleef& Arpels flagship store in New York if I wasn't buying something. Me personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But would I tag along with someone who's buying something? Yeah, sure, why not? But I wouldn't want to be in the way. Same location. I had a disappointing experience at the Van Cleef boutique. I visited intending to purchase a necklace for my wife, but the service left a lot to be desired. The SA didn't offer us a glass of water, which was a simple gesture of hospitality. When I inquired about the return policy, she seemed dismissive, almost pushing me to buy online. Furthermore, when it was clear I wasn't buying something, I wasn't making an immediate purchase today, I asked for some water and chocolates. Her attitude took a turn for the worse. Yeah, look, I mean, girl, it's not a supermarket. It's not Tesco. It's not Aldi. I want water. I want chocolates. You're not buying anything. Why are people so focused on this stuff? Why are you so focused? Like, are you hungry? Have you had anything to eat today? It's not Van Cleef& Arpels Supermarkets Limited. It's Van Cleef& Arpels and they sell fine jewelry, haute joaillerie, and watches and so on and so forth. I don't understand this, especially considering that the client didn't actually buy anything. My thing is like, I don't understand the people who do these things and don't actually buy anything and then are like, hey, you're gonna offer me water, you're gonna offer me chocolates. It's like you want to feel special, but you didn't do anything. Like you didn't buy anything. I can't. The next one's the Cartier boutique at the Champs-Elysees, where I bought my love ring. So I just had to feature this one. This was a really horrible experience. My husband and I walked into the boutique. We walked into the store, we looked around for 5 minutes and no one gave us eye contact or tried to approach us, and all of us were avoiding us. One SA was really friendly to other clients and greeted them as they walked in, but no one attempted to greet us, and two SAs avoided us when we tried to give eye contact. We were treated like we didn't belong in the store. My husband thinks it's because we didn't wear any fancy name brand clothes and we were looked at as people who couldn't afford it. It really didn't feel good at all. Maybe we're not spending 30,000 euros buying jewelry, but we plan to buy me a love necklace for our 10th wedding anniversary and flew to Paris at the end of our 2-week Europe trip for the purpose of shopping on Cartier Champs as a perfect ending and trip. We were very disappointed. Never once have we been profiled this badly. The SAs need to know that in this generation, just because you wear nice suits doesn't mean you're financially free. And also people wear jeans and Nikes are also deserve respect. We had shopped at Rolex, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, other name brands, and never once have we been humiliated like the Cartier at the Champs-Elysees today. Let me tell you, I told you guys when I bought my love ring at this store. This store, boo-boo, does not suffer fools. And I was like, hello, I want to buy, what do you want to buy? First one was like, are you looking, or do you want to buy something? I was like, I want to buy something today. What collection? Between Love and Juste un Clou. What do you want to buy? Before I even got connected to the SA, do you think you're going to get a bracelet or a ring? I said, I think I'm looking for a ring today, but I'd like to look at bracelets, but I'm definitely going to buy something. I even told the greeter, I was like, telling the greeter I'm buying something today. And that was me. So you can imagine and I think that day I looked nice. I had just left the Big H George Sank boutique after getting dragged. I was like, I'm going to cheer myself up and go buy myself a luxury product. And I bought the Cartier love ring there. And I was like, okay, cool. And you guys, me. It takes a lot to make me angry. This wouldn't trigger me. I would be living my life at me, looking around, and I would buy the item and I would leave. But I didn't look a mess. Okay, so I think also looking the part does play a role. I'm not saying I'm the queen of fashion and everyone should look to me. Absolutely not. everyone knows like what works for them in terms of like looking nice. But I definitely think like you need to make that effort. Like you need to make an effort, particularly in France, honey. You know, we've talked about this before. And I would say Europe as a whole, I would include London and the UK as well. A casual day in Europe is still pretty glammed up compared to other Western markets, for sure. It's still pretty effortlessly snatched, and people look really good. People look good. You know what I mean? And I just feel like looking a raggedy mess and expecting to get the red carpet treatment. Yes, it's possible that they could have spent 10,000 euros, but 10,000 euros for that location is really nothing. And I think that this is something that a lot of people grapple with. I remember when I first started filming these dragging videos, there used to be this one person who watches my dragging videos. You know who you are. If you're gonna leave a crazy comment, I'm gonna drag you in the comments. The person would always complain when I would say that you know, it's really rude for you to say that. You know, like they spent way more than I could ever spend. Well, say what? Say what? Say what? They spent way more than you ever spent. The bottom line is 10,000 euros for that location is not a lot of money. Is it a lot of money for a client? Yes. Will you be given champagne? Yes. Yes. You better be given champagne. Will you be treated really well? I think so. I think even that location, you're going to be treated really, really well. But can they tell you're going to spend 10K coming off the street? I don't think so. I prefer to not make appointments because I don't like a monopoly on my time. I remember just leaving George Sank, leaving the boutique. I tried so hard to get a leather appointment. I said, you know what? I remember I was texting my husband and he was like, what are you doing now? I said, leaving Big H, heading back to the hotel. I said, you know what, actually, I'm going to go to Cartier because it was like getting late. You know, the sun had already set. And I was like, you know, I'm going to go to Cartier if it's open. It was open. And he said, I was like, I'm treating myself to a love ring. And he was like, okay, cool. Okay. And that was just like, you know, I knew I was going to go to Cartier, but I didn't know I was going to go to that Cartier. So I think it's worth noting that like looking the part and looking together, that boutique is on the Champs-Elysees. I can only imagine the rent that Cartier paid per month to keep the lights on at that store. You buying a necklace, I don't remember how much the necklace is. I'm pretty sure the love necklace is not 10,000 euros, but I might have to check. I'm pretty sure it's like 5, 6. Still good. That's still good money. That's more than I spent. But it's not like, oh my God, it's earth-shattering money. I do think for a location like this, if you spend 10,000 euros, they will definitely offer champagne. They're going to treat you really well. If you spend more than 25,000 euros in a location like this, I'm willing to bet money that you're going to really get that red carpet treatment. And I think if you're someone who can spend 40,000 and up, I'm sure they'll put you in a private room at this location because I'm sure it has a private suite for top spenders. Anything 40,000 euros and up, I'm sure that they're going to put you in that private suite, honey. They're going to pull out the stops. They're going to start showing you the high jewelry. You know what I mean? The idea that they should treat every single person as if they have $100,000 in their pocket or 100,000 euros, 100,000 pounds in their pocket without you making an appointment, without them knowing who you are. That is not realistic, guys, for people working in luxury retail. So while I feel bad for them that they got dragged, this location, honey, they don't play games in this location. I think I'll pass by this location on the Europe trip and just pass by because my husband has heard so much about it. So Edwin wants to pass by because he's like, I want to see, because he obviously watched my video. I told him what happened, the experience. And you watch my Cartier unboxing where I talk about my experience there. But he was like, they don't sound like they suffer fools. They don't suffer fools in this boutique. So you turn up there looking like a Cabbage Patch doll, okay, with 10 credit cards that haven't been paid. Yeah. You know they're gonna be like, girl, like, no, we're not trying to help. The next one is the Cartier flagship store in Paris on the Rue de la Paix, near the Place Vendôme. Not the best experience, and I don't recommend this location. It's really sad. The essays here are not friendly if you don't look like you have money. I mean, Cartier's not playing with the girls right now. The store itself is great because it has multiple floors and many items on display. Yeah, and it's the flagship store with the history of the Cartier family. The only issues there are the essays. The essays did not seem to care unless you look like you had lots of money. Some people may not look physically rich, but they do have money to spend. It's better. It's really sad that as you lost them a sale. Be better. Oh, honey, they don't care. This is the flagship boutique for Cartier worldwide. This is where I believe Louis Cartier's son, like the history of opening the store. They did a massive refurbishment a few years ago. It has all the history. It is absolutely stunning. Gorgeous. Okay, again, I wouldn't go here unless I was buying something. Say it with me now, the choir in the background. Today, 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 today. Let it echo. Okay. And you know, I know what you're saying. Oh, like a lot of tourists, sometimes you've been sightseeing. Honestly, guys, I don't think it's a bad idea. Maybe if you've had like a long day sightseeing and you want to pop in there and buy something, I don't think it's a bad idea to go back to the hotel and change into something a little bit more nice, you know, if you're going to one of these standalones, because I think the experience will be so much better. I don't have to say this to the black and brown luxury consumers, but if you are not of European descent, you know very well that you're going to be critiqued because of how you look. I don't have to say it. It should be super obvious to anyone who's from a minority ethnic group. Me and my husband, we don't play these games. I'm not going to a luxury boutique to get dragged because of how I look, and nor is he. So we always look really put together when we go to luxury shops. I do think looking put together does matter, and I definitely think a location like this, like looking put together, like does matter. So the person saying that the essays were like ignoring, you know, if you didn't look like you had money. And I think it's, again, I said it in my previous dragging video, they must see something in their numbers that say that people who look really well dressed have the most money to spend in Paris. Maybe in countries that have more casual fashions, that's not the case, but they constantly drag people who look a raggedy mess. I don't know, I would just go back to the hotel and freshen up a little bit and then head here. That's what I would do. The next boutique is the Cartier flagship in Miami, in America. I drove to the Miami Design District parking. Parking wasn't terrible. I visited Cartier knowing what I wanted, a love bracelet. While the product is stunning and beautiful, the service left a lot to be desired. For a purchase over $7,800, I expected a more luxurious experience. The SA did not even introduce themselves, and the packaging wasn't as polished as before. I ended up buying the bracelet because it's simply stunning. You know, I think it's, again, you know, it's tied to what I said about the Cartier boutique in Paris there, at the Champs store, Miami. You know, I was talking to one of the Moschino Glamazons, who we both love Moschino, and Moschino only have one boutique in America, in New York, and I was saying Moschino should open in Miami, honey, because Miami does give me Moschino vibes. This is a glamorous, decadent, gorgeous, beautiful city with a lot of money. You know, 7,800 USD is a lot of bread, but maybe for this location, it's just kind of like selling 70,000. It's like selling $70 worth of merchandise, of stock. I still think buying a love bracelet should entitle you to some really good service, but these luxury essays, honey, you need to spend a bag to make their eyelashes flutter. The next one is the Hermes boutique in Aspen in America. I visited a bunch of Hermes stores around Europe, Asia, and America, but this particular store was disappointing. Despite Hermes' selective sales strategy, the essays were unprofessional. Before I said anything, she immediately said, "No bags." Her demeanor and expression unmistakably conveyed an unwelcoming attitude. Yeah, that is not right. I don't like that. You know, I said it before. I think I've said it a few times. I'm going to try in Paris on the next trip, and I'm going to try in another European city. I would be upset if I walked in, before I've even said anything, you're like, "We don't have any bags today." I think it just proves like the amount of people who are going to the store to ask about bags, it has to be exhausting for the essays. But still, I mean, there's no need to be rude. The next one is the Hermes boutique in Abu Dhabi in the UAE in the Middle East. Bad service, the essays were really distracted. There was an essay helping me who was speaking to 3 other people and he was wasting my time. No coffee or drinks were offered. Everyone else was confused and wanted to be there. I observed a bag being offered to a client who didn't buy it. When I asked about the same bag, all of a sudden it was no longer available, even though I spent a lot of money here. You know, I think this is one of those like really taboo things to do at Hermes. I think it's seen as super taboo to see someone being offered a bag which I think that Hermes do these public bag offers as like psychology to prove to other clients that they're offering bags to customers. But I feel like to me it reads as like bad taste to see someone being offered a Birkin or Kelly or Constance and then see it be declined and then be like, okay, I'll buy it. I don't know. There's something about that feels really desperate to me. That reminds me, I think, of the first trip when I went to play the game with my husband many years ago now, 2021, 2022 at tail end. And I remember like walking into Faubourg, seeing people being offered bags. The other time when I was with my cousin, I'll never forget this because it was such a beautiful piece. It was a back in 25 in ostrich in rose. I think it was rose Tyrian. It was ostrich. It was so stunning, so gorgeous, and it was being offered to a client, and she didn't seem like she liked it. Everyone was staring, honey, at Faubourg. Like everyone's looking, everyone's like, like staring. And she was like, okay. But again, I think it's just been such poor taste to kind of desperately say that you buy it. But I understand when you spend so much money and you're trying to get a bag offer. I get it, because even for me, I'm going to try this time in Paris, going to try in another European city. After a while, I'm kind of like, maybe all that effort, I could just go and take all of that money and go buy an Audemars Piguet Royal Oak. You know what I mean? Because it does feel like a lot of effort. The next one is the Hermes boutique in Stockholm in Sweden. The service was terrible. I had to wait almost 40 minutes for help, even though I was the only client in the store. I was wearing my Ray-Ban glasses with a camera, which are not filming anything. Are these the Meta glasses that have that camera? And an employee came over in a rather aggressive manner and accused me of filming, which I was not doing. It would have been obvious if I had. Also, I didn't get a refund for a product I hadn't even opened, even though I had the receipt. Honey, the Stockholm boutique is not playing with the girls, okay? A lot of the reviews are from Glamazons who are Swedish, but they're writing in Swedish, and a lot of them are like, yo, they're rude up in here, like they're so rude. Big HSAs are weird about pictures. Again, I think you need to feel the vibe. I wouldn't pull out my camera or my phone unless I saw other clients doing it. I feel like in the 3 prison stores, everyone is on their phone, everyone is taking pictures and filming, so it seems fine. I would personally, just if I was in this boutique, I would check by looking around to see if other clients have their phones out. I think if other clients don't have their phones out, you probably shouldn't, just because I think you could get told off and then it would feel more awkward. It would only feel awkward if like no one else is doing it. Does that make sense? Or maybe it doesn't feel that awkward. I don't know if I'm making sense. I would check to see if other people were taking pictures. The next one is the Hermes boutique in Denver in America. I just went in to browse after going to a few other luxury boutiques. The essays were dismissive and simply followed us around without offering any help. When we left, we thanked them and told them to have a good day, to which we didn't get a response. I don't know, guys. I know people think, guys, honestly, I know people think the whole big mistake thing. I know people think that it really matters and I'm going to do that to an essay. Let me stop you right there, Glamazons. Don't bother trying to embarrass yourself in a luxury store. There's a really good friend of mine who works for a very famous luxury house that you all know. Okay? And I remember when I started filming these dragging videos, she watches them too. She loves them. I remember we talked about the whole, huge mistake, big mistake. And she's like, oh my God, people have tried to do that to me before. And they have no idea that like the money that they've spent, it's like 1% of her daily target. So she's like, you might go back into the store and be like, okay, you treated me like I didn't have money. I'm going to go and buy something and then return the items. She was telling me that people have done that to her before. And it's like, the same day someone had actually done that to her, one of her best clients was coming into the boutique and spent like £70,000 in one sitting. But you're like, big mistake over your £5,000, £6,000, £8,000 purchase. I agree. There's something kind of cringy about being like, okay, well, thanks. Have a nice day. Like I'm getting back at you. You're at work. They don't care. You know what I mean? There's something kind of cringy about it. When I first started filming these dragging videos and she was telling me the way people do the whole big mistake, like, oh, I'm going to show the luxury essay. It's like, we don't care because you still can't outspend our best clients who are coming to spend anyway. Ooh! Same location, new review. I've been a loyal Big H client and I've always admired the craftsmanship. Unfortunately, my recent experience at the Denver Cherry Creek location was extremely disappointing. After I bought a Click H bracelet that began fading within weeks of gentle use, I returned to inquire about repair. I was immediately dismissed. Let me stop you right there, girl. We're not interested. I was immediately dismissed and told the item would not be submitted for quality evaluation, despite presenting my receipt. What was most upsetting, however, was when I was told, quote, "It's not like it's a $12,000 piece." This comment reportedly from a manager made me feel belittled and completely out of line with what I expect from a luxury brand. Whether a piece costs $700 or $12,000, Hermes is supposed to stand by its reputation for excellence and respect towards every client. Sadly, I did not feel either of those. I don't know, girl. I wouldn't be going up into Big H to get Big H to repair a Click H bracelet. It's fashion jewelry. I don't know, girl. I don't know. You lost me there. What do you guys think? Am I right or wrong? Fine jewelry, yes. Fine jewelry, I'm gonna need you guys to polish it. I'm gonna need you guys to do something. But I don't know about fashion jewelry. Now, the manager is so wrong for telling her it's not like it's $12,000. She's basically saying that the client doesn't have any business being in Big H by basically saying it's not like it's $12,000. I can't. This brand is out of control. I have no idea how this brand is like the number one brand by shareholders, even though it doesn't make as much money as Louis Vuitton and Big C. I'm still shocked because this brand stays dragging the girls. I mean, the manager dragged you, boo-boo. She said it's not like it's 12K, meaning you don't have 12K. Sit your butt down. I can't. The next one is the same location. What's going on in Denver? Where the Denver Glamazons at? Because this boutique's getting dragged. I had a really ridiculous experience at Big H today. First, I want to be clear, I don't necessarily blame the SAs or store staff. I cannot blame them for corporate policies. Upon entering the store, I was warmly greeted. I went to look at the children's section. In this area, they have a few leather chairs. Since I've been walking around the mall for an hour, I decided to sit down while I was looking at a product. Immediately, an SA approached me and said that I was not allowed to use these chairs, that they're not for sitting. I left the store pretty immediately. It was pretty empty, but I was so embarrassed. I know these high-end fashion brands tend to be more pretentious, but I felt like it was so ridiculous to have normal leather seats in the middle of the store that's completely off limits to clients with absolutely no signage that says display only, please don't sit. It just goes beyond the museum. It goes beyond the museum of luxury environment they project at Hermes. It doesn't get more pompous than to have a row of comfy and welcoming chairs in the middle of the store that you're not allowed to sit in. To be clear, these chairs were totally basic, normal leather chairs that had absolutely nothing about them that would indicate they are for display only. Nothing special about them at all. I feel so embarrassed to be asked to get off the furniture. I left without buying anything. As I get older and wiser, stores like this just seem more and more ridiculous as the years go by, and I get really embarrassed thinking how much I've spent. First of all, take a deep breath. It's not a big deal. Number one, the person's doing their job. They were clearly told by their manager, there's a client sitting down on the chairs that they're not allowed to sit on. Those chairs are probably ordered from Paris that they have to be accountable for if those chairs are, destroyed, or if they're broken, or if something happens. They're probably held accountable by Faubourg if maybe something happens to those display chairs or those chairs that are just there to make the boutique look nice. So the person's doing their job. I can't be mad at anyone who's doing what they are told to do because that's how they get a check, and I have no issue with that. I think another thing is people need to just chill being told off. I guess because I'm like, I'm always at the casino betting, gambling. At the casinos have a really strict no photographs rule. And some casinos, they really tell you off and they bring over security who are like, in massive black suits, and they come and shout at you. And I'm just like, relax, just chill out. Like, you're not going to run me out of the casino. I'm sitting right here, okay? You're not allowed to take a picture. Okay, you made your point. Calm down and let me just carry on with what I was doing. I'm not going to run out of there, feel embarrassed and all of this. So I feel like sometimes some clients think about it too much. I can imagine if there was no one inside the store, it could feel a little bit embarrassing, but I think you should just let it roll off. Like, oh, sorry, I didn't see a sign there. Is there a sign? No, there isn't. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, actually, could you help me? I want to buy a shirt. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. And then let it go. I think for the person to feel really bad about themselves, it seems like a bit of an overreaction. Don't be so sensitive. Take it easy. The next one is the Louis Vuitton boutique in Sydney in Australia. The worst customer service I've ever experienced at a store. The essay was rude, impatient, and completely unprofessional. She rushed us multiple times while we were choosing a gift for my mum's 60th birthday, made us feel like we didn't deserve her time because we weren't buying high margin items. She refused to demonstrate how to wear a scarf and acted like she didn't want to help. Honestly, someone like this shouldn't be working in luxury retail. I have to say, Louis Vuitton CAs, I think, have massive targets, you know? I'm definitely going to go back to South Africa soon, and I'll be passing by that Joburg store as well to see what's going on there. I've heard from many African glamazons have told me the Johannesburg store has really changed. It's very busy. There are a lot of people milling around. I was trying to think, like, what's the minimum spend like to make an appointment there? There is no minimum spend, but what would I feel comfortable with? And I feel like with Johannesburg, you'd really need to spend like 40-50,000 South African rand. I feel like for the essay not to feel like you wasted their time. I spent less than that, and the essays are just kind of cold. They're kind of like, you know, in the appointment, they're kind of like, okay, you know. And I think that it's like a similar thing with here, in that it's like you know, or she refused to show them how to tie a scarf. Louis Vuitton scarves are how much? How much are LV scarves? They can't be, I mean, in the UK, are they even £700, £800? In Europe, are they even like 600 euros, 700 euros? Probably not even that. So I can imagine in Australia, they're probably not that expensive relative to how much other things cost. So she's just thinking, okay, this person's here with their mom, but they're not really spending any money. I want to look for clients who are more profitable because I have massive targets. Honestly, if I could give some advice, if you're going to take your mom to like Louis Vuitton, make an appointment and make sure to highlight to the store that you're coming with your mom to buy a special birthday present for your mom, so they can prepare a room and so they can make it a little bit nice, because I just feel like I wouldn't put my mom through this without an appointment. The final one is the Louis Vuitton boutique in Denver in America. I visited the boutique on holiday for a specific bag. I had to get the attention of one essay who passed me off to another essay. This essay, I was asking for a specific bag, and he asked me if I have a budget in mind. I said I'm in the he asked me if I had a budget in mind, and then she's like speaking to herself. If I'm in the store, I know how much the bags cost. It's a valid question, but I didn't even ask him to pull out any bags. His demeanor was really bad. Seems like this store is really, really rude. I mean, I don't see what's wrong with the essay asking you what's your budget. If you are not clear what you're buying, what's wrong with them asking you how much you want to spend today? Louis Vuitton have limousines that are like 100K. They have fur coats in the men's collection that are 100K. But they also have the hat box, which is like what? I think it's just under 5,000 euros, if it's not 5,000 euros right now. They have all kinds of price points for all kinds of products. I don't think it's wrong for the essay to ask you, you know what I mean? Like how much, you know, you want to spend. Like it doesn't seem, I don't know, it doesn't seem like they're trying to embarrass you or make you feel bad or whatever. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. Tell me what you think about that one. And what were your thoughts on all of the dragging videos today? You guys are all going to learn the hard way, honey, and so am I. Take it from me. Say it with me now. We are no longer going to flagship stores if we're not buying something today. Okay? Like, whenever I was thinking about the merch and what the merch is going to say, like, it has to be connected to these dragging videos, because why are people putting themselves through this? I wouldn't go to, like, the stress that some of the people who, in today's dragging experiences, I wouldn't go through some of, like, the stress that they have been going through. Tell me what you think about all of the dragging stories. I think the wildest one to me is the one from the Hermes boutique in Denver, the client trying to get a fashion jewelry piece repaired. I mean, girl, give me a break. And then the manager saying, it's not like it's $12,000. Basically calling you, basically saying you don't have any money to be in the store. Okay? And remember what I told you that my friend said, that whole pretty woman, big mistake thing, it doesn't work. She's like, she said when people try and do that, all they do in the boutique is laugh at clients who do that whole big mistake thing. Because she's like, there's always someone who's going to come into the boutique right after your big mistake outburst, and they're going to spend like 5 times more than that person. Once my friend told me this, that's when I was like, okay, the people who do the whole, I'm going to go to the boutique and buy all this stuff and return it, like, you're just embarrassing yourself. It just feels super cringy. So let me know what you think about everything. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Guys, before I head out, I wanted to give my thoughts on this whole Mikayla Nogueira luxury haul drama that was on TikTok. I'll post a link to a TikToker who posted a breakdown. You know, Mikayla, she's like a beauty TikToker. She has a ton of followers. She's doing really well. So she posted this luxury haul. Just go watch the breakdown of all the things she bought. She bought Louis Vuitton, Prada, lots of gorgeous glam bits and bobs. And people were like, but basically, there was like a massive reaction to her purchases, and a lot of people were saying it was really tone deaf and it was really terrible and all of this stuff. Now, it's my what I wanted to talk about is not so much like people's reaction. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. Obviously, I don't agree, but that goes in line with the theme of my channel. I think what I was really disappointed in is the amount of women who were like my age, because I think Mikayla's she's 24, 25? I mean, I think she's 24. I'm 39, so I'm like 15 years older than her. I think I was really disappointed by the amount of women who are my age, so like 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, in my age range, who were like critiquing her and making it seem like, well, I'm older than you and you should save your money and not buy all of that crap and all of this stuff. It's like, I mean, who are you to tell that person how to spend their money? It's her money. She can do what she wants with it. She's on the Forbes list this year for like the top influencer creators. She's making millions upon millions a year through brand deals. She has her own brand. She's making a ton of money. When you have money, you spend it. And I think sometimes like people think luxury is just like luxury handbags. Luxury is a lot of stuff. It's your house, it's your car, it's a boat if you have one. It's doing all kinds of things like with your money. It's not just buying high-end handbags. And I was really shocked by the response to her haul by the amount of people who are like my age. I think that was something I found really shocking, was the amount of people who are like millennials, because I'm a millennial. I guess an older millennial, but still, and who were kind of like admonishing her for like, buying things that she wants. A lot of people were saying the stuff was ugly. She had a mink capucine in that unboxing. Who thinks a mink capucine's ugly? Not me. I was like, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. She had a lot of stuff that she was really happy about and that she thought was really nice, and she was really excited about it. And again, I don't really follow Mikayla. I don't follow her on social media. I don't have a dog in this fight about her content because I don't follow her. My TikTok is very curated to luxury goods, high jewelry, diamonds, and then if I'm not watching luxury content, I'm watching travel content, and then if I'm not watching that, I'm watching content about immigration. I watch a lot of immigration documentaries. That's like the stuff that I basically follow on TikTok. So I don't follow beauty gurus. I don't follow anything beauty girls are doing. Even though I love beauty and I love glam, I don't follow people who do that, right? So I don't have a dog in this fight when it pertains to her content. I don't really care, and I don't follow her, and I'm not going to watch her content if it's not about luxe. But I was just really shocked at the way a lot of women who are millennials were responding. And I just think it's pathetic, really. You don't have to like her haul. You can think it's excessive, but it's her money. And let's be clear, $160,000 in one, she spent $160K in like one shopping session, like in one day. That puts her at like VIP level at luxury brands for sure. But men spend $160K easy. They spend it on their cars, they spend it on boats. Like I told you guys know I'm in the casino scene. The casino scene is like 95% male, and there's a minority of us who are women who gamble. Are you guys ready to talk about how much men spend betting in the casino? I've literally seen in London casinos, men gambling £100,000 at the roulette wheel. In one go, in 1 hour, gone like that. But no one says anything. Why is it a problem if she does it? And again, I'm not particularly political about it, because I have a lot of criticisms about the Western women's movement, because I think the women's movement in the West, I think, isn't respectful of women of color. I don't think the women's movement is respectful of religious women like myself. I don't think the women's movement allows a lot of nuance about relationships between men and women. So I have critiques about that. But at the end of the day, if your critique is very, very harsh, ask yourself if you're not internalizing some misogyny. Because if you are a luxury shopper, that haul shouldn't bother you. There was someone who had like left a comment and they were like, oh, they buy luxe and they shop at luxury brands and they would never post their stuff online. Okay, but so what? I mean, so if you wouldn't. People want to see it. Those 2 videos, she posted them on her TikTok. They have millions of views, millions and millions of views. And I would say, and I wrote this in a response to someone who was like, I can't believe we made her famous. I'm like, but you did. You did. You watching her videos made her get a ton of followers, which allows her to charge a ton of money for brand deals, as she should, because that is her labor. That's her work. As a Black African woman, Black African people were used for free labor for 500 years on this planet with no compensation. So you'll forgive me that I'm not someone who glamorizes labor. I don't think you have to work really hard to afford luxury items. I don't believe in that. Trust me. I'm 39 now. I've worked really hard for 15 years doing business. I'm not going to spend another 15 years being a businesswoman. I'm going to be wrapping things up very soon and chilling and enjoying my money. I'm not going to over glamorize labor. So you have to understand, it comes from a personal viewpoint. Yes, this idea that, luxury is only worth it if you work really hard, whether you've inherited it, whether your husband pays for everything, whether, you've worked really hard for it. What difference does it make? It's the same money at the till at the end of the day. I thought the responses from a lot of older millennial women were very disappointing. It's not for you to critique her. She's earning millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. Forbes said it was more than $7 million a year. She's earning a ton of money. She can spend her money how she wishes. And I think the problem with luxury is luxury is just maybe a little bit more obvious. I have a friend from another African country. She's a very, very successful businesswoman, okay? She doesn't buy luxury handbags. She doesn't buy luxury fashion. She was actually telling me she wants to get into it now, so she was asking me what brands I think she should buy. But she just got an order and a delivery for a Rolls Royce from the UK to her country, okay? And her country is like mine. It is taxed 100% the cost of the car. So she spent £1 million just getting a car. She doesn't have social media. She doesn't have anything like that. But she wouldn't be against posting her car on Instagram. So I say this to say that people are entitled and have the right to do what they want with their money. And I feel like this idea that you're an older woman who gets to tell a younger woman how she can spend her money, I just don't like it. I don't like it. Let her do what she wants. It's her money. She doesn't need anyone's advice or anyone's tips. And it really irritated me seeing people's comments about how, she should, invest. It's not going to last forever. You don't know how much she's invested. Leave her alone. And again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I don't follow her on social media. I just didn't like that. I didn't like that. I was disappointed to see women in my age range trying to tell her off. It felt very like, I'm older than you, so I know more than you, and I'm going to tell you off. It's like, but tell her off about what? It's not like you did the work for her. And that doesn't necessarily mean that she's like a super likable person for whatever reason, but it just seemed kind of unfair, And it's a similar thing in the luxury YouTube world. You see this as well in luxury YouTube unboxing videos, and people will try and tone police YouTube unboxers as well. There's a lot of tone policing. Guys, please don't do that to me. If I want to buy things, I will. If I don't, I won't. Don't tone police me. Don't tell me what I can post, what I can't post. Let me be who I am. It's very irritating watching people be like, oh, this person unboxes so much stuff. Do you not give money to charity? I didn't grow up seeing that charity had to be performed out loud. I was always taught that you give because you want to give. You don't give to post it on TikTok, to post it on social media, to prove that you gave. How do you guys know that she didn't give? Oh, drove me nuts, honey. Anyway, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Tell me what you think of the dragging video. God bless you all. Sign up for the newsletter. I'll see you in my next video. I'm out.